Hey guys. This is part 3 of What If Naruto Has No Chakra. Hit like and subscribe if you like this one, and also please check the author in the description. Let's start. Chapter 7, Red Sand. You should be more polite in the presence of a relative, Sasori of the Red Sand whispered softly, for we are among the last of the Uzumaki, and I am the elder one. Respect is lost on the young nowadays. Naruto was confused, and inwardly, terrified. Confused because he did not understand how the man could look like a teen when he had to be over 30 years old, and terrified because there was no way he could get out of this situation alive on his own. Sasori and Orochimaru together wouldn't need to lift a finger to murder him. The cruel spectacle offered by the remains of Team 7 was proof enough of that. Of course, Naruto simply hoped to buy enough time for reinforcements to arrive, or perhaps present an opening for Fu and Han to exploit. The two containers had managed to stay hidden, either that or the duo of criminals pretended not to have noticed them. I see you came for Sasuke instead of me, he said with fake jealousy, and since you work for Orochimaru, I guess the kidnapping attempt on my person was your idea? Yes, although my partner was slightly too zealous. Sasori glared briefly at the Sannin, who shrugged. I simply wanted to talk with you, like civilized men. Neither the samsara nor the blackmail were my doing. Then why not talk here and now, so your teammates can sneak up on us and free the Uchiha? When the ANBU are on their way? It was confirmed, he had seen the ambush coming. Get out of the leaves before I strike you down with fire. Both of you. Fu and Han jumped at Naruto's side, ready to fight. Naruto dropped all pretense of weakness and seized the kunai, calculating the distance between the two groups. Surprised? Yes. I was astonished to see 3 Jinchuriki in Konoha, but one has to be prepared for everything. Orochimaru shrugged. It was our lucky day indeed. Tell me, Naruto-kun, what do you want? We have no desire to fight. We will simply leave with the Uchiha and come for you later. I promise you we shall not kill Sasuke-kun. Sorry, but the guy, while a jerk, is a comrade and friend of mine, and I'm pretty sure death isn't the worst thing that can happen as one of your prisoners. What are we waiting for then? Fu shrugged. Sasori narrowed his eyes. If you will not let us go, he began, then there is another option. Leave with us. Akatsuki would be glad to employ you. Is he joking? Naruto faked surprise. Akatsuki? Do not take us for fools. Sarutobi-sensei informed you of our existence, did he not? Orochimaru licked his lips deviously and chuckled. I am pretty sure he deformed reality to suit his needs. He has always been a tricky monkey, say the war criminal. Naruto shot back. So what, you're going to pretend you're the good guys? We are above petty notions such as good and evil. Sasori snorted. Akatsuki is a community aiming to destroy and replace the hidden villages, imposing a one-world order over the entire planet. Surely you will be treated better with us than in the wilderness or in this decaying country. Akatsuki will give you the means and training needed to reach your full potential. You want power and authority? You will get it. Wealth, knowledge, money. Akatsuki can offer you the world, in exchange for your allegiance. Then why do you abduct the demon vessels? Fu pointed out. Only those who refuse to join us. Orochimaru grinned. You can't expect us to take no for an answer. The tailed beasts are the pillars maintaining the balance of power in the ninja world. By uniting 9 Jinchuriki under a single banner, we will topple the 5 Kage. Sasori glanced at the different containers. Ask yourself? What did the hidden villages do for you? They send hunters after you, treat you like tools to be discarded and replaced as they see fit. Wouldn't your life be better if they were wiped off the maps? Don't you want them to pay for what they did to you? The Han doesn't care for the political shit, the giant said. The Han wants to learn what you did to Rashi. Who? Orochimaru raised an eyebrow, sounding genuinely surprised. I do not know who you're talking about. The former Iwa Nin frowned. Lies. Sasori snorted and locked eyes with Naruto. And you, Naruto? Why don't you join your cousins? Leader Sama simply seeks to complete Ieza's legacy. He is the one, the only one, who can give you the heritage that is rightfully yours by blood. Leader Sama can cure you of your illness, teach you how to control the Kyuubi. I know of your desire to be the best ninja you can possibly be. Akatsuki will help you reach this goal. A part of him, that always desired to stop being the underdog and prove himself to the world, wanted to say yes, but the cold, reasonable part of his mind reminded him this man was an insane war criminal wanted by Suna for massacring his own countrymen. Then the realization hit him. Cousins? As in plural? You don't mean, oh, so leader is an Uzumaki? Orochimaru chuckled. Interesting. Ignoring his partner, Sasori continued his discussion with his distant relative. This is what your grandfather and mother would have wanted, he told the blonde. You were not old enough to meet our grandfather, but I was. He lived long enough to pass on the knowledge of our clan. The information caused Naruto to be genuinely surprised. My mother? We share the same grandfather, Naruto. He lived a happy life in Yuzu, with his daughter, Kushina, until Konoha savagely kidnapped her when she wasn't even 5, to create a weapon of war able to tame the 9 tails. Our grandfather lost the rest of his family in the flood that destroyed his home, and being denied access to Konoha and his own child, emigrated to Suna. He remarried, and here I am. You're lying, Naruto replied. Mom can't have been. What do you know? Sasori cut in. What do you of our clan? Do you think we were wiped out because of sealing techniques everyone had already copied? No, we had unlocked the secrets of the great sage himself, and we had found. At this moment, his and Orochimaru's eyes widened, and they leapt in opposite directions right when Han attempted to crash on them from above. The giant standing next to Naruto vanished into steam, the clone having served as an effective diversion. At the first opportunity, take Sasuke to safety, Naruto told the girl, as Han did not wait for them to attack. Without Sasori's focus, the chakra strings restraining the Uchiha vanished, leaving him vulnerable. You idiot, you can't take any of these two down alone, Fu hissed, then hurry to hide Sasuke and return. He shot back, throwing 3 kunai upgraded with explosive tags. The ANBU should crash the party very soon. I am sorry to drown your hopes in despair, cousin. Sasori apologized softly, as he dodged the projectiles without any effort, before pointing his arm toward the Jinchuriki. But the Uchiha stays with us. A cone of fire was produced by his open palm, burning the grass on its way. The trio jumped out of its range, Orochimaru instantly seizing the opportunity to punch Han in the face, and the demon vessel quickly counterattacking with a slap, whose sheer strength sent the Sannin to crash on a tree a bit away. So you occupied our attention with a clone, so the original could sneak up on us? Futile, but smart. Sasori's arm released a volley of Saban at Naruto, who avoided them. Fu started releasing her dust in the air, while her blonde comrade memorized the puppeteer's location. What's next? Ah yes, the blinding powder that doesn't surprise anybody. Closing his eyes just as the clearing was filled with bright light, Naruto brought out a knife and raced forward, hoping to capitalize on Sasori's temporary blindness. A powerful kick to the torso, coming out of nowhere, put an end to that hope. Opening his eyes with a groan, the blonde prepared to kill the attacker with a swing. The hell! A rounded projectile of metal broke his nose and tossed him to the ground. The floating weapon aimed to crush his legs with a new blow, only for the blonde to regain his footing and dodge. The teen raised his head and observed his new opponent. It was the third Kazekage. He had seen his photo in the bingo book. It was his face, it was his body, and the eyes were devoid of life. He was wearing black robes, and his forearms had been reinforced with metal plates. His movements weren't as fluid as they should be, and chakra strings were linking his limbs to Sasori's hand. Realization hit him with utmost cruelty. No, you desecrated his corpse. Sasori shrugged, uttering his next words with absolute callousness. He wasn't that hard to kill and collect. His prowess were exaggerated. As Fu attempted to assault the puppeteer with taijutsu, the disgusting puppet switched target, pushing the girl back with a wall of black sand. You shouldn't be bothered. His death made the third shinobi war possible, and helped avenge our family. You can thank me later. Naruto was already at his throat, a kunai in his right hand. Bastard! He shouted with rage, his vision reddened. The Kyuubi's chakra was going wild in his veins, allowing him to cross the gap between the two enemies in the blink of an eye. And in his rage, the Jinchuriki couldn't care less. Sasori absent-mindedly caught Naruto's right forearm with his hand, stopping the attack easily, and then the blonde launched his left fist forward, aiming for the skull. A new hand ripped Sasori's cape apart and caught the punch. Before Naruto could compute what the hell happened, a fourth arm emerged from the puppeteer's shirt and slammed the Uzumaki's torso, at the exact point where the Yondaime seal was located. There was no word to describe the pain Naruto experienced at this micro-instant. To his mind, it was as if his very flesh was suddenly put on fire, the demonic chakra in his veins vanishing in a blink, damaging the nerves. His previous superhuman strength was replaced by absolute and sudden weakness. No more 9 tails. Sasori's words were uttered with disturbing calm and serenity. Which makes you a nothing, instead of a something. The palm tightened into a fist and punched Naruto's ribs with the power of a cannonball. Naruto kept a scream of pain in check, as he felt at least 2 ribs shattering. Meanwhile, the hands restraining his arms increased their grip, slowly cracking the bones. That, cousin, is the difference, Sasori continued, between real ninjas and those who play at being ninjas. The power to inflict pain. Much to Naruto's surprise, 2 new arms, bringing the total to 6, torn apart the missing Nin's robes and started projecting streams of fire at Fu, who already was struggling with the 3rd Kazekage's metal sand. Meanwhile, Orochimaru was pushing back Han with wind techniques, summoning snakes to keep the Jinchuriki busy while he bombarded him from long range. This is Leader-sama's power, awarded to me for my services, the power of the Azura Path. Sasori snorted, as Naruto attempted to kick his captor's torso. Each blow obviously hurt the blonde more than the redhead. Look at you, Naruto. What are you? A pathetic, crippled kid holding on the illusion he can succeed on his own. What's your goal? To be the strongest ninja by will and training alone? You make me laugh. The only way for you to become the best would be to drag others to your level, which is impossible, or cast away all weaknesses. His 3rd hand caught Naruto's jaw, forcing the blonde to lock eyes with his cousin. Let me tell you a secret, Naruto. The strength of a ninja is not conditioned by determination. It's conditioned by how far one is willing to go to gain power. I ripped my own flesh apart so I wouldn't admit weakness, while you refused the strength offered to you. Your mind and body are weak. They will stay this way, no matter how hard you try to convince yourself otherwise. The only remedy to your weakness is our help. Not your friends, not Konoha, not all the dreams in the world. It's the power we can offer, for a price. This is the real world. The world where the strong prosper and the weak crawl. Like Anko Midarashi, Naruto's eyes snapped wide. Wah, I caught and captured her, Sasori snorted. Will she live? Will she die? Her fate is yours to decide. When Toby comes to pick us up, I will make you see the real world. If you don't, I am afraid Midarashi won't live long. You shall be the catalyst that will allow Leader-sama to drown in fire the old world to bring about a new order. Or you shall be dirt under his. A green beast hit the puppeteer's torso, sending him to fly away and forcing him to release his hold over the blonde, who fell to his back. The teen could barely identify the creature, as it started to engage the mechanized missing Nin. It was pure green chakra, with the shape of a beetle, using 4 wings to fly. Fuh, he realized. It's full. Naruto's body was racked with pain, but he refused to lay down. I'm not weak, he told himself, as he crawled in a vain attempt to rise up. I'm not weak, foo. Muttering to oneself now. Orochimaru's voice was mocking, cruel, and painful for the ears. His hand grabbed Naruto by the collar and forced him to watch the Sannin. I like your eyes. They remind me of my own. He grinned sadistically. It's decided. I'm going to leave you a gift. You can thank me later. If you survive, that's it. The last thing Naruto remembered before falling into unconsciousness was a pair of fangs biting his neck. He was back in the sewers. Again. You're weak, Boyle. Shut up, he replied coolly, laying in the water. He wasn't in the mood to listen, and his head hurt like hell. His brain was literally ablaze. I don't want to talk with you. You would prefer Kit? The fox mocked him. Admit it, you're pathetic, Kit. You think you can survive without me, Kit? Look at what happened when this Sasori cut you off from my chakra. You were helpless, Kit. I would have figured something out. He denied, angrier. What? You would have asked him nicely to release you. Brought out some little trick he would have shrugged off effortlessly? The Kyuubi licked its fangs predatorily. With my power, you could have saved Anko. The blow was harsh, and hurt as much as if it had been physical. Seeing the boy's distress, the Bijou continued. I've the power to crush mountains and dry out seas. Look at what we could do if we worked together. You could be the strongest ninja of all times. You could crush Akatsuki on your own. Heck, you could take over the world all by yourself. All you have to do is to ask. With your strategic mind and my abilities, nothing would be impossible. And then what? Naruto frowned distastefully. You're going to make me destroy Konoha? What did this place do for you? The fox did not attempt to deny its murderous intentions. Rejected you, treated you like dirt. Your Sandaime Hokage used you as a glorified bait. Why would you care if it were gone? Naruto rose up and glared at the creature. Just leave me alone. You can deny it all you want, but I'm the only one that understands you on the entire planet, the demonic being snorted. We're alike, you and I. And one day, you shall rip this seal off and we shall shake paws. Naruto finally opened his eyes, blinded by the daylight. Finally awake? Sarutobi's voice reached his ears first, but it was Yugao's face he saw first. He briefly glanced around himself, and realized, much to his annoyance, he was in the exact same hospital room he ended up after his first encounter with Orochimaru. Beside the Hokage and the ANBU, Han, Fu and Sasuke were also present. The Uchiha was in a worse shape than the rest, covered with bruises and wearing an hospital robe. Yeah. His neck was burning. The pain was nearly unbearable, and he did his best to ignore it. What happened? How long was I out of action? Easy, Yugao said. You were asleep for a day, and you should rest. Jinchuriki are stronger than that, Fu replied with pride. You collapsed after Orochimaru bit your neck. The pain, coupled with the brutal withdrawal of the Nine Tails chakra, caused you to pass out, Sarutobi explained calmly. My student attempted to capture you next, but fortunately, your two fellow hosts managed to hold him and his partner long enough for my forces to join the fray. The Han is unhappy they got away, the giant whispered. That masked freak appeared out of nowhere and teleported away with them. Fortunately, they failed to get Sasuke, and the Naruto stopped briefly and glanced at the Uchiha. You know, I'm guessing? Hokage-sama saw fit to inform me. Sasuke clenched his jaw, as if his next words were a source of pain. Thanks for saving me. The injuries you received were severe, but the new influx of chakra provided by the seal helped you recover, Yugao whispered. The medics did the rest. You should be out of the hospital tomorrow. I see. Naruto blanched suddenly. Wait, Sasori sealed off the Kyuubi's chakra. Unfortunately, not enough to cut the connection off completely. So what provided the chakra? Sarutobi and Sasuke both clenched their jaw, and the latter compulsively massaged his neck. The blonde Jinchuriki immediately understood. What did Orochimaru put on my neck exactly? The Uchiha shrugged off the shoulder of his robe, revealing it. A seal composed of 3 black curved lines. You have the same, Yugao explained. It is one of Orochimaru's curse seals, a special enhancement increasing the physical abilities of the bearer, and giving access to a new chakra reserve. One of our seal masters managed to render the cursed seal of heaven useless, but this one is another model. Normally it feeds on the bearer's chakra upon activation, which results in death 9 times out of 10, Sarutobi explained. Due to your condition, you are able to survive without chakra, which allowed you to live. The seal produced enzymes and chakra to help you recover. But unfortunately, the effects on the subject aren't documented enough to allow a safe use. And everything that comes from Orochimaru is bad news, Naruto said. What about the Kyuubi? A former student of mine will arrive in the village very soon to deal with Sasori's modifications. Sarutobi coughed. Naruto, about Anko, Sasori has her. The admission caught the rest of the group off guard. He told it to me. We will recover her, Yugao promised, narrowed her eyes dangerously. What do you intend to do? I'm gonna find Anko and kill Sasori, in that order if possible, the blonde replied with a strangely serene voice. Even if it takes me decades. Most of Naruto's time at the hospital was spent on writing a detailed report on the forest's events. When he could get out of the hospital, it was escorted by a whole squad of ANBU. They did not talk, yet the blonde had little trouble guessing the reason for the Sandame's seal. If Sasori and Orochimaru had dared to infiltrate the village once, then they could come back for round 2 anytime. You're going to move elsewhere, Yugao told him, as she joined the group. The Hokage asks you to take everything necessary and then move to your new home. Han, Fu and Sasuke have already relocated there. Where are we going? The Hokage residence. His surprise must have shown on his face, for Yugao instantly elaborated. This is the safest place in Konoha with the ANBU HQ. The Hokage's ninja will transfer your lab to it afterward. Take what you need the most. I see. He opened his home's door. Just give me 2 minutes. I will be back soon. When alone inside his flat, Naruto started gathering his precious items in silence, until he found the samsara. He glanced at the serum, wordlessly pondering what to do with it. You make me laugh. The only way for you to become the best would be to drag others to your level, which is impossible, or cast away all weaknesses. Reacting almost on impulse, Naruto removed his sleeve and prepared the syringe for an injection. No one is going to mock me again, he told himself. With it, he could be cured. He could gain what should have been his at birth. This is the real world. The world where the strong prosper and the weak crawl. He raised the syringe and hesitated. Could he truly let Sasori's words affect him? Could he truly try this substance? It might cure him, yes. Give him the power to beat the man, probably. But he still had no idea on its composition, and the side effects were not to be ignored. The might he would gain, he would have to pay the price for it. He would have to play by the puppeteer's rules instead of his own. After long minutes of indecision, he reached a conclusion. Putting the unused serum in his bag, the teen finished gathering his belongings, and closed his flat's door behind him. Naruto Uzumaki had a long way to reach the top, but he would do it by his efforts alone. The Hokage residence was one of the biggest buildings in Konoha, easily the size of the academy. Naruto had never visited the private quarters the Hokage's relatives occupied, aware it was simply out of his league and much more protected than the administrative parts. It had taken him a lot of preparation to steal the Forbidden Scroll, and as much as he hated to admit it, it had been a close call. The inhabited areas were under the constant watch of the ANBU, as the Sandame's family would make good hostages. "This will be your new room," the old man told him. Naruto had a hard time believing it. It was the size of his whole apartment. "Make yourself comfortable, it shouldn't be hard." Naruto dropped his bag and glanced at the Hokage. "Old man, I do not want to sound rude, but you didn't have to show me my room personally. I'm honored. You have been protecting the village since the moment you were born, son." The war leader inhaled sharply. "I should have taken you in years ago. You had a hidden village to manage," the blonde pointed out, inwardly touched by the admission. "I wanted you to live a normal life, when it was obvious you would never be normal." The old man sighed sadly. "When you get older, you think you have learned from your mistakes. If I could change the past, I would do things differently. What is done, and what must be done shall be done." Naruto chuckled briefly at his own pathetic attempt at philosophy. "I don't dislike you for your choices. Everyone makes mistakes, and I'm not the kind of guy to sulk in a corner." He shrugged his shoulders. "May I ask you a question?" "Do so." "Why did Orochimaru and Sasori go at such lengths to catch Sasuke?" he asked. The question had bothered him for a long time. Why risking infiltrating a hidden village on high alert? Sarutobi snorted. "Tell me, Naruto, when you want to kill an enemy, what do you do?" Naruto raised his eyebrows. "I hide my strength to catch him off guard, then I trap and kill him before he even understands what hit him. Akatsuki is trying this method with other countries. But tell me, son, what would you do if your enemy knows what you can do, and is prepared accordingly?" "I would try to intimidate him. Psychological warfare, so he would slip up." Naruto narrowed his eyes. "That's what they were trying to do. This is commonly called terrorism in our jargon. Psychological warfare on a national scale and political destabilization." The Hokage crossed his arms. If the last Uchiha, a symbol of the Leaf's grandeur, had been captured, crippled, or worse killed with his team, this would have been a heavy blow to our morale. Akatsuki failed at this goal, but their second objective has been completed. They have shown they can attack us any time and penetrate our deepest defenses. If the other hidden villages here missing means manage to infiltrate our city, which hopefully won't be the case, they might think the Leaf is weak and get ideas, or ambitious people inside this very city might consider I am doing a bad job and should be removed. I'm 70 after all. Inoki is older than you, and it doesn't bother IWA. You have more experience than anybody else in this country, and I really can't picture anyone else behind your desk." Naruto scratched his head. "In any case, if there had to be a vote on whether or not you should be taken down, I would support you." "Thank you." The Sandame nodded. "Tell me, Naruto," he began, "do you know the meaning of your codename?" The ninja took a breath, and realized he had never bothered to investigate its meaning. "No, but I've got the feeling you're going to tell me. Atlas is the name of a giant from an ancient mythology which interests only old scholars and historians nowadays. As you can guess, only someone like me could think of it." The Hokage shrugged. He was the one tasked with the burden of holding the skies and clouds in place, preventing them from crashing upon the earth below, starting the end of the world. "Is it symbolic of the Kyuubi? Smart boy." "Yes, you are right." Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled kindly. "I thought with your determination, you were worthy of a giant's name." The teen grinned, before adopting a stoic face. "Old man, I've a sin to confess. I lied to you." Sarutobi raised an eyebrow, inviting him to carry on. "When Orochimaru detained me, I stole a serum he created." The Hokage took his breath. "Carry on." "Hey!" Fu's voice reached Naruto's ears. "What are you doing?" The blonde closed the dossier, and glanced at his friends. Fu, Han, Yugao, and Sasuke all watched him with worried expressions. "Reading my mother's dossier." "Uzumaki Kushina's Jounin dossier. Your mother was a kunoichi?" Sasuke asked, sounding surprised. He had always thought Naruto's parents were civilians that died in the Kyuubi's attack, which would explain his lack of talent in the ninja disciplines. A pretty good one, he replied proudly. Sandaime-sama kept it for me to read when I would be old enough. She had one hell of a crazy life. Although at no point is my dad mentioned, Naruto thought. Was he the result of a one-night stand, a brief affair? Or had Kushina's lover been another S-rank criminal? Unfortunately, it confirms at least part of Sasori's rambling. The group kept the silence, leaving him to explain the details. My mother did indeed share the same father as Sasori's progenitor, which makes us distant cousins. She was taken young from her home as part of an agreement between Konoha and Yuzushiobikure. It was perfectly legal, but I can understand why my grandpa saw it as an abduction. It explains some elements about Sasori's motives. He shrugged. When I hit him, I'm pretty sure it was an alloy I hit. Metal. Not flesh. Naruto massaged his temples. Considering he did not age in 15 to 20 years, nor show any emotion, there are two possibilities. Either what we fought was a remotely controlled puppet, which is unlikely, as we would have noticed strings, and I highly doubt that a robot could control the third Kazekage so skillfully, or he turned himself into a machine, which would fit his perfectionism syndrome. Wait, Fukutin, the guy's had 6 arms, his torso and face were heavily modified. No human could survive so many enhancements. The Uzumaki possess a strong life force. Naruto glanced at the dossier. According to an autopsy, my mother suffered an event, which should have caused the implosion of her entire chakra system, and survived for 20 minutes after her heart was impaled by the Nine-Tails claw. A new crime piling up on the demon's head. As long as he kept his vital organs intact, I wouldn't be surprised if Sasori replaced the rest of his body, which means he can be killed if his torso is pierced, Han pointed out. If hit hard enough, like by the Hanzapoka fist. Steel itself bends. Sure, when we'll be over with him, Sasori will be Sasori. Naruto couldn't repress a laugh at Fu's horribly bad pun. He needed this kind of thing in such dark times. If the Seven Tails vessel's expression was truthful, it had been done intentionally. Yeah, he glanced at Yugao. Still nothing on these two? No. The research department is struggling to understand the technique they used to teleport away, and a few of our departments are currently suffering a reorganization. Purge would have been a better word, but the ANBU avoided mentioning it. Catching the moles was a source of sweat and troubles for the Hokage. Then, I've something to ask you, Yugao. He got down to his hands and knees. Please teach me. The woman was slightly surprised. Teach you? I'm nowhere near strong enough to fight Akatsuki right now, the blonde admitted. I need to be better. Much better. And you're the strongest person I'm friend with beside the Sandaime guy, who are both occupied. I never taught, but... Yuga paused. All right. But you will follow my schedule. It can't be worse than guys. He smiled and bowed respectfully. Thank you. Sasuke observed the scene and reached a decision. He glanced at Han, and although asking for help was nearly painful for the Uchiha, he swallowed his pride. Would it be possible for you to teach me? Han raised an eyebrow. Aren't you supposed to have a teacher? Kakashi only taught me to climb trees. I need more than that if I want to protect myself and others. He shrugged. I saw you in action in the Forest of Death. You're strong. Very strong. I don't want to be helpless, ever again. Oh well. The giant gave the boy a light tap on his back, which, due to a combination to the Uchiha's own state of weakness and the Jinchuriki's own strength, made him fall to the ground. The Han will infuse you with a tiny part of his pure awesomeness. After his friends left, Naruto proceeded to put 2 photos next to his bed. The first was his mother's portrait. He had never seen her and would never get to speak to her, but the sentimental value was too great to ignore. The other was one he took with Anko, both members of the duo grinning at the watcher. I promise you. He bowed to the photo. I'm going to find you. As a temporary proctor, Naruto was among the first informed about the second exam's results. 5 teams in total had made it to the tower in time. Team Guy, Team 8, and Team 10, Gaara's squad, and a trio from Kiri. 15 participants was exceptional, so preliminaries had been decided to cut the number by half. After a few matches and 1 automatic qualification in Shikamaru Nara's case, the entirety of Team Guy, Hinata Hyuga, Gaara, and 2 Kirinin called Chojuro and Sujetsu Hozuki had made it to the final round. Gaara had killed the 3rd Kirinin during their match by crushing his skull with his sand and then throwing the headless corpse at his teammates. Naruto wondered how Team Guy and Hinata had reacted to his congratulation message, delivered by Han's rocket dove. From what he had heard, they had performed admirably, and they deserved their place. He had also asked the Sandaime if he could get his hands on the preliminaries videos, a demand which had surprised the man. "I want to see the puppeteers match," Naruto had explained. "One is after me. I've got to be prepared." Naruto had spent nearly all his time confined in the mansion, either researching any info he could gather on Sasori and Orochimaru, or analyzing the videos the Hokage had collected. The exam's puppeteer, a guy called Kankuro, had fought Hinata in the preliminaries. Activating the Byakugan, the girl had effortlessly guessed his weapon's nature, and quickly paralyzed Kankuro's hands with the gentle fist. Unable to produce chakra strings, the Sannin was powerless and forfeited. Naruto had been genuinely surprised by the Hyuga's attitude in the fight. She hadn't stuttered, had ignored Kankuro's attempts at psychological warfare, and performed the gentle fist with confidence and efficiency. Obviously, Tenten's mentoring had paid off. However, with Sasori's enhancement, her tactic was futile. Puppeteers tended to be physically vulnerable, fighting from distance with remotely controlled machines to compensate, but the Red Scorpion had turned his body into a war machine, negating this weakness. If his limbs were somehow augmented, perhaps could it be possible to cut the power? "Naruto, focus." Yugao's voice snapped him out of his thoughts. "A lack of attention is deadly on the battlefield." "Sorry, I was lost in my thoughts." He seized his dulled blade and adopted a fighting stance. He and his teacher were training on the roof, under the watch of the moon and the ANBU hiding in shadows. "So, Aido is a sword styled the samurai of iron developed to defeat ninjas," she calmly repeated her explanation. "It is centered around the smooth movement of drawing the blade from its scabbard and replacing it there. The motions result in the slash being faster and stronger than those executed with the sword already drawn, which allows a skilled practitioner to prevent enemy shinobi from finishing hand seal sequences." "Which is how you beat Orochimaru's guards?" "I didn't need it this time. Aido is not truly efficient against people like you or Han, whose fighting style does not rely on hand seals, but it is highly useful against puppeteer. If you cut their hands or strings, their entire arsenal falls apart. That's it, if Sasori's hands can be cut at all. I doubt his hands are made of metal only, or else they would not be so fluid. Wood components must play a part in this." Yugao shrugged. "If you pinpoint the weak points, it will be possible to sever the fingers." Like that. In the next second, Naruto's hand received a nasty hit from a dulled wooden blade. The training lasted for hours, and Naruto felt pain in each and every one of them. "That will be enough for tonight," Yugao said softly, as she glanced at her bruised student. "You should rest, I believe. You will get new bruises tomorrow." That was low, and here I thought one couldn't outdo Anko or the old man in sadism. Naruto massaged his neck. "What are you going to do next?" She observed the sky and the half-moon in the sky. "Watch it." The Anbu glanced at her friend. "Would you like to join me?" "Sure." Both sat on the roof and observed the celestial object in silence. Naruto had to admit it was a peaceful experience. It was nice not to struggle or think for a change. My dad liked to see the stars. His dream was to map the whole sky. I guess you know at least about the pole star? Everyone should. How else could you guide yourself in the dark? Yugao pointed a finger at the sky. It's hard to see it due to the moon and the clouds, but here there should be Ursa Major. I was once told each star was akin to our sun, and that perhaps each of them could nurture another Earth. I wonder if there are other humans out there, and what they would think of us. I think they would find us poor shinobi highly amusing. Naruto had no idea why, but watching the moon, it caused him to feel fuzzy inside. Yeah, I'm probably a werewolf. Or the curse seal is messing with my brain. Your dad's dream was to map the sky. He died before he could complete it. He was on a mission to apprehend Kisame Hashige's unit back when he was working for Kiri. The man executed his own men rather than let them be captured and slaughtered his way through the Konohanins. I was more or less adopted by Konoha's intelligence division afterward, so she had been associated with the ANBU since she was young. I see, that's why you joined the ANBU. To take up the mantle? Yes. She crossed her arms. You want to join the ANBU one day? Why not? That or I become Hokage. He chuckled at Yugao's surprise. Hey, can I dream a little? Hey, Naruto. Tenten hugged him. I'm so glad to see you're okay. We heard you were grievously injured attempting to apprehend dangerous shinobi, Niji said softly, sounding genuinely pleased to see his friend uninjured. Was it true? Yes, but as you can see, although I received a good beating, I'm alive. He glanced at Sasuke. Unfortunately, we were too late for others. I would like to give you my condolences for your loss, Guy told the Uchiha politely. The genin accepted them with a nod, and did not reply anything as others followed the Jounin's example. Asuma had had the idea to invite Team 8, Team Guy and the newly created Team Cat, although Han wanted to call it the Han's Marvelous Team, to the Yakiniku's restaurant to celebrate their students' qualifications, and to forget the ill fate that befell Team 7. Kakashi was nowhere to be seen, and when he asked Yugao about the matter, she inhaled sharply and answered politely. Kakashi-senpai has been reinstated in the AMBU, both to bolster our nation's strength in such troubled times, and because the Sandaime thought Sasuke might blame him for what happened. Which was partially true, unfortunately. I can understand why, Kurina Yuhi whispered, having listened to the conversation. He only taught his team the tree climbing exercise in weeks, and then sent them to the Chunin exams, a deadly competition, wholly unprepared. She herself had only nominated her team after explaining them in details what the tests would entail, teaching them advanced techniques and tactics to increase their chance of survival. Kakashi's negligence was nothing short of criminal in her humble opinion. Yugao frowned, defending her friend. Kakashi-senpai never taught before, she explained. He is an incredibly competent ninja, but teaching a group of genin was a new experience for him. And no one could guess his team would meet a group of experienced ninjas on their way to the tower. If they hadn't interfered, Team 7 would have performed well, Naruto agreed, briefly glancing at the rest of the genin. Han and Lee were getting along extremely well, and surprisingly, Fu and Shino had started talking about insects. Both had deep knowledge of the subject, after all. Kurenai shrugged, and glanced at Naruto. I would like to speak with you. The blonde raised an eyebrow. First, I would like to thank you. Your discussion with Hinata helped her improve a great deal. Tenten did most of the work. The two girls were chatting together, much to the anger of Hinata's cousin. She would better prepare herself to lose, however. Niji will not go easy on her. He has a grudge against the main family, and it will be an opportunity for him to lash out. Just giving you a fair warning. He isn't known as a genius for nothing. For Naruto, in spite of Hinata's improvement, there was no way she could beat her cousin in a straight fight, especially considering the hellish training he underwent for years. After beating his cousin, he would probably face Tenten. The girl would beat Shikamaru, which shouldn't be hard, considering the blonde gave her all the info he compiled on the Nara. Ah, the joy of teamwork. Lee was probably going to beat this Chojuro, and would face Gaara in the semi-final. What would happen next? Naruto crossed his fingers, hoping his friend would overcome the psycho. I spoke with Tenten-san. She is a very promising kunoichi. Kurenai's face turned stoic. I have learned about what happened to Anko. As the young man sulked, the Jounin coughed politely. I would like to tell you we will do everything in our power to find her and punish the responsible parties. I will do that myself, thanks, he replied, giving her a slight nod. If you excuse me, I gotta go. No sooner had he left Kurenai's company than Tenten fell on him. Naruto, thank you. Kurenai Yuhi told me I was a fine kunoichi thanks to you. Kurenai Yuhi, does it means my debt is cancelled? No. The answer was so flat Naruto almost slammed his head against the wall in disappointment. But don't worry, it's just a seal I want to apply. Oh boy, no, the teen shook his head. I've got 2 already and they're both horrible. The curse seal was already difficult to tolerate, another would be overkill. Nah, you're going to like this one, the kunoichi replied with a smirk. By the way, are you going to the hot springs next? Hot springs? Yeah, Asuma-san rented them for the day. Wanna come? She smiled kindly. I believe it would be good for relaxation. I don't want to criticize you, but you look awful. I've had a bad week. The water was relaxing, and the heat made him sleepy. Naruto let himself slide into the hot bath peacefully, trying to follow Tenten's advice and let the accumulated tension go. Sasuke, Shikamaru, Choji, Niji and Asuma, who had dropped his cigarette for the occasion, were already present, and they were soon joined by Kiba and Han, Shino having refused to soak. The Jinchuriki had kept his mask and hat, leaving the rest of his muscled body exposed for all to see. As he sat in the water, he noticed Naruto's gaze. The Han understands what you feel, the giant began. Seeing the Han's perfect body made you gay for the Han. The Han is however forced to tell you he cannot return your affection, for the Han's one true love shall always be the Han. You, alright. The blonde ignored his insane friend and focused on the rest of the men present. One element especially attracted his attention. Niji, why is your Byakugan on? The teen seemed genuinely embarrassed, and blushed lightly. It is to see through the steam, in case we're attacked. Liar. Naruto shook his head. Niji, you're a bad boy, Kiba snorted. Who would have thought you were a closet pervert? As if you didn't use Akamaru to spy on Hinata, Shikamaru pointed out, as barking were heard. I do not understand the dog, but I'm pretty sure it is giving you a vivid description of. Oh come on, I'm pretty sure you can use your shadow techniques in this way too. Like copying naked girl's shadow or something. And according to Mama Kimichi can extend there. Women are troublesome creatures, Shikamaru cut in, as Choji reddened like a tomato in shock. They tend to be killing machines when angered. Sometimes I wonder why every ninja technique has a hidden perverted use, Naruto shrugged. I mean, if you follow this logic, then Sasuke could perhaps memorize naked women forever in his brain with his Sharingan on. The Uchiha's jaw dropped at the statement, as he had never considered that, and decided to forget this application to ensure he would live long enough to kill Itachi, hoping no kunoichi would ever hear of it. Let's go, Lee! Guy shouted, upon entering with his student, both wearing green swimsuits, much to Naruto's horror. We're going to swim until we pass out. Ah, the image! My eyes burn. More steam! Han started producing a thick white mist with a technique, potent enough to save Naruto's sight from the insane duo. As a bonus, the water's heat increased slightly. By the way, Han, how does your steam works? Naruto asked. I've never heard of something similar. The five tails gave the Han the power to fuse fire and water chakra to produce a steam element, the Jinchuriki explained. Only the Han managed to master it. The previous Jinchuriki ended up burning themselves with it. Naruto nodded, and asked him a question. I never asked before, but why did you leave IWA exactly? The missing nin stayed silent an instant. IWA is a harsh place where to live in. Its citizens are as cold as the rock they shape, and the Han was never appreciated due to his bijou. He was considered dangerous by the Tsuchikage, was denied a promotion past Chunin, and was kicked out of stores. After a time, the Han got fed up with the stone and left. He was not mourned, and he did not mourn anyone, except Rashi. The giant cursed. Akatsuki captured, and probably killed him. They will regret that. The blonde understood his situation. If the Sandaime hadn't been so kind to him, and if he hadn't met friends like Tenten, he would have probably abandoned the leaf by now. Didn't you have a family? He briefly wondered if Han's behavior wasn't an attempt at dealing with a deep-seated inferiority complex. The Han's father was the former Gobi's vessel. He lost control of the bijou, and it was extracted from him, killing him so the Han could inherit the family curse. The Han never met his mom. The giant shrugged. Why such questions? It's just, you, Fu and I share the same burden, and I never got to speak with someone like that before. The teen closed his eyes. Do you think there is a place where people like us are accepted? No. This is why we are strong. The giant snorted. Time for you to answer the Han's questions. Are you screwing Yugao Yuzuki? Well, what? The outburst caused the rest of the boys present to glance at him. Han unfortunately continued on his reasoning. Look, you two go on the roof, under the moon, alone, and then come back panting and sweating. The Han is asking himself questions. This is not even remotely what you think it is. Naruto has a girlfriend? Kiba grinned wickedly. Who is it? If yes, then it means I've got a shot with Hinata. Wait, that's what you were doing on the roof with Yugao? Sasuke asked, sounding slightly disturbed. Yugao? Oh. I'm impressed. Asuma gave Naruto a light tap on the shoulder and proceeded to tease him ruthlessly. Older women are the best. I would suggest to offer her flowers. Ino will surely give you pointers if you ask nicely. You're all completely crazy. Wow, Yugao Yuzuki? Nice catch, boy. Nice catch. Oh come on, this is not Naruto stopped. Wait, who was the last voice? Oh? That's me. A man exited the thick steam, standing atop a red toad. He was naked like a worm, elderly, and had a long white mane instead of hair. Jiraiya of the Sannin. Sage of Mount Myaboku. Writer of Ika Ika Paradise. And mayor of a little town up the coast. The ladies bow before my awesomeness. His flashy introduction was met with complete and utter silence. No, seriously, what is your girlfriend's cup size? It would be a nice subject for my research. Chapter 8, Lucky 7. That's the cursed seal of Earth, Jiraiya explained, after he had finished examining both Naruto and Sasuke. The counterpart to the cursed seal of Heaven. I met one or two of Orochimaru's followers marked with it. It turns them into mini dinosaurs when they call upon its full power. Can you remove it? Naruto asked, sitting on the ground. After leaving the hot baths, Doing their best not to reveal the legendary pervert's presence to the local kunoichi, the trio had relocated themselves to a training ground. I feel like dog on a leash. You are. The self-proclaimed super pervert was nothing like Naruto imagined. Of course, the blonde had seen his bingo book entry, learning he was the writer of the glorified porn series called Ika Ika Paradise, and one of the best ninjas on this side of the continent. Yet he seemed bipolar. He behaved like a clown one second, then as a stern teacher the next. Orochimaru's chakra is kept inside the seal, allowing him to locate you if he wishes, or influence your brain. Jiraiya sneezed. The evil sealing method will reduce its influence, until I can develop a more permanent method. The dampener will be fueled by your willpower, meaning you gotta be careful to keep your emotions under control. The curse seal answers to its bearer's intents, and might be triggered if the call is powerful enough. I can keep it in check, Sasuke stated. Me too, Naruto shrugged. I've more willpower than needed, we'll see. Jiraiya began a long hand seal sequences. I will also remove Sasori's additions to the Yondame's seal. The process will be painful. He wasn't joking. Naruto's skin burned, pain flaring through his nerves. The sensation was similar to being flayed alive with a kitchen knife. Sasuke was in a similar agony, but unlike the Uzumaki, his chakra allowed him to resist the procedure better. After a few seconds, the pain was too much to bear and the blonde began to hallucinate. A vivid living dream replaced reality. The world was blurred. The land was black and white, the buildings shapeless shades. The rain was powerful, falling down upon a crowd gathered atop a tower. A man, which was nothing more than a mirage to Naruto's troubled mind, was standing higher than the rest. His eyes were shining with a silver, inhuman haze. A slave once told me he dreamed of freedom, the speaker with the strange eyes explained with a strong, deep voice. It was probably enhanced by a sound-based technique, and the echo added a supernatural edge to the speech. My father dreamed of a nice, long, happy life. A peasant dreams of the same exact existence as we speak. In his darkest roots of the leaf, Danzo Shimura dreams of a world where Konoha rules almighty. In the high mountains of cloud, the foolish Reikage dreams of a powerful, everlasting Kumogakure. My dream is very different. The speaker raised his hands and clenched his fists. I dream of a sea of fire. An inferno that will overwhelm the nations of earth, drowning the old world in divine flames. Crimson clouds will cover the skies. The oceans will boil. The streets shall be filled with the blood of millions. The end shall come. But my dream does not end there. From the ashes of the shinobi world, as the gods once created mankind from clay, Akatsuki shall shape a new one, better in every single way. By our will, we shall turn this blue planet into a red planet. The man extended his arms. Why do I dream of the death of this world? The reason is simple. This is a truth that was revealed to me by heavens. No animal is born free. Not even man. We are born shackled with the chains of misunderstanding, hate, nationalism, pride. Through these illusions we cause war and strife. Only through pain can we achieve enlightenment. Only through suffering can we shatter our chains and free ourselves. We are a new beginning, my followers. We are the samsara, we are the world's salvation. Through our efforts, we shall guide the rebirth of earth. Through our will, mankind shall learn true suffering. Pain. To the world, pain to the world. The crowd cheered in unison, the people raising their hands to acclaim their leader, their prophet, their god. Pain to the world. Soon, the old idols shall fall. The leaf, the sand, the stone, the mist, the cloud, the waterfall, all of them, shall be reduced to dust before the Akatsuki's might. The nine-tailed beast shall be one once more, and what the sage of the six paths once did, we shall undo it. None of their keepers shall escape our sight. We shall pursue them on foot, in the sky, in the sea. They can run, but they cannot hide. The speaker glanced at the blonde. Not even you, Naruto. Oh fuck, he can see me. He can see me. The next second, the blonde awoke, Jiraiya and Sasuke watching over him. So, the Sannin raised an eyebrow. Was it a nice dream? Yeah. Naruto smirked sarcastically. I think I saw Akatsuki's boss. He's a nice guy. Writing a report about his vision was quick, although he forgot parts of the preacher's speech. The man believes himself a prophet or deity, he told Sarutobi. I know, the Sandaime had replied unfazed. One line, one circle. Naruto continued giving the instructions to his friend. Damn it, why does it take so long? A summoning array is never easy to create, Fu pointed out, as she used foreign blood to draw symbols to the ground. Summoners aren't that common, you know, and the art is difficult. Especially when you do not have chakra to use yourself, which is why you will provide it, the teen replied, as Fu finished. He would have asked for more assistance, but Jiraiya would never agree to what he was about to do, and Han was occupied drilling taijutsu lessons into Sasuke's skull. According to the book I read, this should teleport us to the summon's lair, by using the summoner's blood as a focus. And to whom does this blood belong? Enko. I stole it from the hospital's reserves. Fu blinked. Yes, we're going to the snake's lair. Are you insane? The girl clenched her fists. They work for Orochimaru. With Orochimaru, Naruto corrected, stressing their independence. This is risky, but also the only way I have to locate Enko. The snakes might be Orochimaru's summons, but they worked with Konoha during the Second and Third Ninja War, and let's not talk about all the years Enko summoned them without causing trouble. I doubt every single snake is hostile to us. And seeing how Orochimaru uses his summons as meat shield, 1 or 2 might be willing to betray him. And if they inform Orochimaru, the pentagram has a fail-safe, he said. I am unable to activate it due to my lack of chakra, but you can. If you complete the same hand seal sequence you will use to activate it in the first place, we automatically return to Konoha. This is still insane. Exactly. Orochimaru will never expect it. Fu groaned, and began the sequence. You're crazy, she repeated. With a cloud of smoke, the duo vanished from the leaf, finding themselves atop a mountain of gold. Literally, they had landed on a sea of silver and golden coins, contained inside a cave of black stone. Fluorescent crystals provided light on the ceiling, allowing them to see the creature glaring at them, a gigantic red cobra, easily the size of a large building. Who are you to wake up Smaug the Devourer? The serpent hissed dangerously, its yellow eyes shining malevolently. Are you thieves? We're tourists, Naruto deadpanned instinctively, before suddenly realizing just how idiotic it had been. The reptile stayed speechless for a few seconds, and then exploded into roaring laughter. The spectacle both confused and terrified Naruto, doubly so when the creature swirled around him and Fu. That's the first time I've heard such an answer, the animal admitted. Amusing. What are your names, tourists? I will sense it if you lie. Naruto Uzumaki. The girl is called Fu. The blonde inhaled sharply. We attempted the reverse summoning and we ended up, where are we exactly? The Ryuchi Cave, the Serpent's Realm. This area is Smaug the Devourer's nest, little one, and you disturbed my sleep. The creature shrugged. But you're too funny to die. Feel fortunate I am in a merciful mood. Thanks, Fu nodded. Where can we find the local authority? Do you think me for a tourist guide, brats? The cobra laid on his treasure and faked sleeping. Unless you have something to give me in exchange for my help, leave me alone before I decide to eat. I will pay you 10,000 ryo if you help us. Smaug glanced at Naruto. As expected, his greed got the better of his pride. 30,000, in cash. 10,000 in cash immediately, the rest after the service is done. I need to be sure you aren't trying to trick us. Deal. The beast chuckled. You would make a crafty snake, Naruto Uzumaki. As promised, the snake guided them through a long string of tunnels and caves, each illuminated by crystals. They crossed paths with snakes of different stature and colors. Most were normal-sized, many were bigger than horses, and one's mouth was bigger than a small house. After a walk, they arrived inside a gigantic library. Scrolls and books were piled around them, across a cave easily as big as an entire district. A colossal white snake was resting on a throne of black stones, inhaling the smoke of a giant pipe. He was wearing a pointed black hat and a crystal necklace, and its eyes were 2 crimson orbs. That's the white snake sage, our elder and spiritual leader, Smaug explained. He has collected more knowledge than any creature alive on this earth. His wisdom is peerless, his guile legendary, his power almighty, and his love for screwing with minds terrifying. Respect his authority, or you will suffer. The snake shuddered. Pecking order. Deciding not to delve on the subject, Fu pointed a finger at the tunnel behind the throne. Where does it lead? Smaug, much to the girl's astonishment, paled. To the dragon's lair, he whispered ominously. The animal turned around, delivering a last sentence before returning home. Don't forget my pay, if you survive, that is. Naruto locked eyes with Fu, and the girl gave him a light tap. You go first. Cursing, the young man approached the throne, bowed, and attempted not to piss on himself when the giant snake glanced down at him. Greeting, honored white snake sage. You are Naruto Uzumaki, son of Kushina Uzumaki, grandson of Kiryu Uzumaki, student of Enko Mitarashi and Yugao Yuzuki, follower of Hiruzen Sarutobi, shinobi of Konoha, Jinchuriki of the Nine-Tailed Fox. Called Atlas by others. Owner of a platypus, and suspected sadomasochist. The snake released a cloud of smoke from his nostrils. Prepare to die. Naruto paled in dread, before grabbing a flash bomb. Fu jumped at his side, her fists clenched. Bring it on, you old! The serpent laughed loudly, catching him off guard. What? You should have seen your face. The sage teased him mercilessly. This trick never gets old. Naruto dropped his jaw, shamed to have been played for a fool. Curiosity, however, won over anger. Wait, this isn't the first time you pull it off. Nah, I pull it on every new visitor to see how they react. If they cower, I eat them for real. If they stand up, I listen to what they have to say. I can't allow weaklings in this realm, you understand? The sage snorted. You should be used to it. Didn't Yugao pull something like that on you once? Anko gave her pointers. I should have guessed Anko was behind that somehow. Naruto crossed his arms, warily eyeing his surroundings. Fu's eyes did not leave the animal, and she said no word. Nice to see you're prepared for a sneak attack, but don't worry, if I wanted to eat you, you would be in my stomach as we speak. The white snake sage inhaled from his pipe, in a similar way than to Sandame's. Naruto found the scene hilarious, but managed to keep his amusement under control. You must wonder how I know so much about you. Do you have any guess? You sent snakes to spy on me? Smart. Reptiles all over the world gather information for me each week. We are the second greatest spy network on the continent, behind the Spider Clan, although if you want our knowledge, you will have to earn it. The sage locked eyes with Naruto. Don't worry. I didn't tell Orochimaru everything I have on you, and you won't tell me everything you have on him either. No, the snake confirmed. Your feud is none of our concern, us summons, although I'm not stupid enough not to keep an eye on the elemental nations. A war between humans is always an opportunity to expand our influence, arranging the death of rival summons, recruiting new summoners, stealing powerful weapons. It has been our way for countless centuries, long before the hidden villages were founded. Naruto smirked at the last words. Obviously, summons weren't that different from humans. They had their own wars to fight for supremacy. You must know why I am here. No. I know Jiraiya wanted you to see the toads first, however. Why? Because they're his summons? No, because he's a moron. A talented moron, but a moron nonetheless. A senile amphibian smoked weed and mushrooms, prophesied you would arrive at Mount Myaboku, and here you are in the land of the toad's bitter rivals. The white sage snorted. Serpents will be better suited for you. You remind me of Orochimaru when he was your age. The comparison chilled Naruto to the bone, and the giant snake noticed. Orochimaru isn't who he used to be. His madness has been caused by a variety of factors whose list is too long to discuss. He used to be quite polite and sane. Now even my grandson Manda, one of his oldest companions, is having difficulties working with him. I see, but obviously Jiraiya isn't behind your visit. This wasn't a question. The sage was stating a fact. So why did you come? I admit I am curious. I wanted info on a friend, and maybe a counter to Orochimaru. A giant creature that would be willing to help me beat him, although without chakra this seems impossible, Naruto admitted. I would have figured something out. The sage placed his pipe to the side and watched the young man carefully. Do you know how reverse summoning works? Without using a summoner's blood, I mean. I am summoned before creatures with whom I share affinities? Exactly. The ritual automatically sends you to the animal species with whom you are naturally aligned with. In your case, your guile, desire to achieve more power, your attempts at solving your problems with your brain and reliance on dirty fighting mean you would have either been sent to the Spider Clan or us. However, this does not mean any clan has to take you as a summoner. Naruto narrowed his eyes. I guessed that already. If someone like me can try reverse summoning, why isn't there more summoners? I've heard most summons kill human visitors. True. In fact, Orochimaru was the only person in the past decades who has received a contract from us, which your sensei Anko Mitarashi signed later. We ate the rest. Smog didn't earn his nickname for devouring chickens. The white snake sage chuckled cheerfully, amused by his own lame joke. Most summoners think a contract means they can use us as they wish. Is it the case? No. There is always a price to pay. Naruto crossed his arms. You ask for something in exchange for your clan's help. Smart boy. The snake contract means while you can summon us, I can summon you as well should my clan need manpower. This will take precedent over any conflict you may have in the elemental nations. Secondly, our clan obeys the law of equivalent exchange. Unless you are respected enough among us, which currently isn't the case, you will have to pay for our help. The price will depend on the service asked. Consider a contract to be a mutually beneficial collaboration. Finally, you won't be able to summon any other animal until the contract is broken. I see. He didn't expect anything else, having gleaned info on summons before attempting the ritual. Can summoners summon each other's? No, or else Anko and the leaf would have had Orochimaru killed by now, the white sage answered flatly. Since you interest me and will be useful, I allow you to form a contract with us, if you're willing. However, as you lack chakra, you will have to find alternate sources to fuel the ritual. I believe you should be smart enough for this. Thank you, Naruto nodded, already pondering different options. And you said you had a spy net. I will not give you any information on Akatsuki and Orochimaru. The sage destroyed his hopes. My clan has a non-aggression pact with this organization, and as such I will not do anything that could endanger it. I can give you access to your family's history, but since multiple Akatsuki members are intrinsically linked to it, this shall be limited. Naruto clenched his fists. And Anko Midarashi? The white snake paused. She isn't part of our accords with Akatsuki. I can give you her current location, for a price. What do you want? Naruto asked warily. The white sage, astonishingly enough, grinned. I've wanted to do this for a long time. That was immature. Very immature. It wasn't my idea, Naruto told Tenten, taking a coffee break together at her home. Admit it, it was funny. I thought Jiraiya was going to have a cardiac arrest. Understandable. I would have had one if you teleported with a giant white snake right in front of me, shouting "White Snake Sage, I choose you" for everyone to hear. How did you manage to pull that off? No idea. The giant snake took a little of my blood and did all the work. He guessed it was some kind of advanced summoning. Hopefully, Orochimaru couldn't do that, or else the leaf was screwed. He made me sign a scroll bigger than you, but since I don't have chakra to make the summoning possible, I've been researching alternate solutions. I've read blood can be a viable alternative to chakra. This is how animals were summoned back when the sage hadn't taught anyone how to use chakra. Unfortunately, the bigger summons need human sacrifices. This is completely impractical. Signing the contract didn't bring you anything. What is the point in having a skill you can never use, because it can be helpful? Yes, I can't summon anything myself, but my teammates can use my blood to summon snakes themselves, which could potentially save our life. Have you not considered the snakes might turn against you? Snakes are mercenaries at heart. Naruto crossed his arms. The smaller ones obey a command dutifully because the summoner is stronger than them. Some obey because they are friends with the summoner, and the bigger reptiles trade for their service. At least one would kill Orochimaru in a heartbeat if I paid him enough, and Manda, the strongest of all snakes, only work against 100 sacrifices. The toads aren't that much better. From what I heard, Toad boss Gamabunta refuses to obey Jiraiya whenever he feels like it. Naruto shrugged. A friend of mine summoned snakes inside Konoha for a decade and they never caused trouble. They don't really care about which flag they fight under as long as they're paid for it. Tenten frowned slightly, as she brought the coffee to her lips. Speaking of Jiraiya, did he, well, the rumors. He peeped on you, Naruto told her flatly, making his friend spit out her drink. I've never had the displeasure of meeting a man more perverted than him. This is unfathomable. That bastard. Tenten clenched her fists. I'm going to castrate him. I can do it for you, if you erase my debt. Sorry, the pleasure will be mine alone. Tenten grinned. Don't worry, what I've in mind is good for you. She placed a sheet of paper on the table. Naruto glanced at it. The symbol represented a complex ceiling array, looking like an open eye. I called it the anti-ninja field. What does it do? It sucks in every source of chakra within a 20 meters radius. Naruto stayed silent, glanced at Tenten, before finally settling on seizing the paper and memorizing every feature. How? It creates an imbalance between yin and yang, the positive and negative aspects of energy and matter. The imbalance needs to be corrected, and nearby chakra is absorbed into the seal until the energies are balanced. The kunoichi finished her cup. At worst, techniques should either be nullified or weakened when used within the radius. At best, ninjas nearby will be killed by chakra depletion. It is impractical for most people, as their chakra would be absorbed, killing them. But I don't need it to live, Naruto finished. Yes. Tenten smiled kindly. This will give you an immense advantage over enemies. I need to find a safe way to make it work, but once it is completed, he hugged her, making her squeal in surprise. You're awesome, he said with tears in his eyes. No, you're the most wonderful friend ever. I know, the girl grinned, breaking off the embrace. But that doesn't mean I'll go easy on you, sometimes. Naruto smiled sadly. Sometimes. I forget you're the sweetest girl I know. It was while going on a walk, as the sun was almost set, that Naruto noticed it in the skies. The creature had the shape of a giant beetle, easily the size of a human. It was strong and beautiful, its body covered with green scales. It was flying aimlessly under the moonlight, until it noticed the blonde genin. The ninja backed down in dread, when the giant beetle landed in front of him. Don't worry, Naruto. It's me, foe? Naruto stared, astonished, at the creature. What happened to you? I took over her body for the night. While the voice came from the same source, it was different. A deep, bug-like noise. Enchanted. I am Chome the Lucky Seven Tails, the teen blanched. Am I speaking to a bijou? You broke the seal? No, it's… Fo's voice fell silent. We have an agreement. I let him use my body like it wants from time to time, in exchange for its chakra. I wanted to fly, the creature said flatly. Do you want to fly, Naruto Uzumaki? Come on, it's pretty wonderful. Fo insisted. Nana will hold you and nothing else. It suddenly grabbed the teen with its strong hands, flying before the blonde could resist. Cease to move or I drop you. Enjoy the view. Naruto closed his mouth and obeyed. The sunset was beautiful from above. The lights reflected on the clouds, forming a great, wonderful tapestry of colors, almost hypnotizing. Beautiful, he whispered, feeling the wind blowing on his face. Yes. The Nanabi grunted. Fu, give me more control. I want to blow up that ugly Hokage monument. Wait, no. Fu panicked. Why would you want to do that? It blocks my view of the twilight. Naruto decided not to push the issue and changed it. So, you want to speak to the Nine Tails? Something like that? No. I never liked Kurama. He boasts the number of tails shows the order of power, and as such he is entitled to rule over all creatures. The oversized beetle snorted when Naruto frowned. Nanabi Kyubi, they are titles men gave us. We have real names. I do not mind my title, for 7 is a happy number. I see. Naruto shrugged. So I'm not the only one to dislike the nine-tailed fox? He is a nine-tailed asshole, Chome summed up with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. Good to see it did not influence you. Tell me, why is this place called the Hidden Leaf? There are more trees in Taki. According to history books, Madara Uchiha named the town the Hidden Leaf after the Shodai created the buildings with his Mokuton. Naruto snorted. He was slightly surprised the bijou could be so civil. He defected soon after. You should have done the same. The hidden villages bring us bijou and Jinchuriki nothing but suffering. We share the same boat. It grunted. Is it not, Fu? The girl stayed silent an instant, and her blonde friend couldn't repress his curiosity. What happened in Taki? He asked. Nothing, she lied through her teeth. Nothing at all. Sasori glanced at his partner, covered with bandages. How long until you are at full strength again? A few days, I would say. Aesthetic surgery isn't that bothering, and Kimimaro is surprisingly adapted to flesh alterations. A blade of bone grew out of Orochimaru's arm, which surprised the red scorpion. He had expected blood to flow. Obviously, the Kagaya bloodline reduced the damage done to the body. With this enhanced vessel, Sarutobi-sensei will surely fail. The puppeteer snorted and glanced at the bottles piled next to the Sannin. Has the quota been fulfilled? It has been shattered. Orochimaru chuckled. We have enough samsara to fuel an army. I will smuggle it inside the walls once my agents are ready. Sasori chuckled. Deidara has finished preparing the bombs. Oh? I guess we will see who is the better artist soon then, Orochimaru teased his partner, who shrugged. He wasn't in the mood to discuss his rivalry with Deidara. What about the Nanabi and the Gobi? I asked for reinforcements, and we will have them. And Naruto-kun? Alive. My agents will move when Naruto expects it the least. Sasori glared venomously at the Sannin. What madness possessed you? You could have killed him. No. I was certain he would survive the procedure, and it will allow me to restrain him any time. In truth, the reason Orochimaru had infected Naruto with the cursed seal was to better control him. Once addicted to the seal's chakra, he will come to me begging like a dog, the snake thought with amusement. With the Kyubi under my control and Edo Tensei, I will be able to defeat pain, after Konoha is wiped off the maps, of course. Myriads of plans took shape in his mind, each more cruel than the last. I will enjoy having Naruto rip you apart, he mused inwardly, upon glancing at Sasori. This was a calculated risk. If you keep acting like a loose cannon, you might pay the price for it. The puppeteer snorted. How many soldiers will Edo Tensei provide us? Orochimaru grinned behind his bandages. More than enough. Naruto glared at Sarutobi. You stole Perry from me. It came to me first, the Sandaime chuckled, the animal resting on his lap. With this pose, the old man could be mistaken for an evil mastermind. When do you intend to extract its venom? Soon. I'm building hollow projectiles to deliver it. Naruto sat in a chair, locking eyes with his mentor. You summoned me at this late hour to speak about Enko, am I right? You will be happy to learn a rescue mission has been launched. Sarutobi interlaced his fingers. The coordinates the White Snake Sage gave you confirm our own investigation. Akatsuki has a base near Kusagakure. Jiraiya believes this is an experimentation lab. You realize this might be a trap. I assume every recovery mission is a trap. Which is why you won't be part of it. The boy's heart stopped beating briefly. Why? Naruto clenched his fists. I gave you the info in the first place. Orochimaru will be able to locate your cursed seal, warning him of the operation. Sarutobi inhaled the smoke. And before you try to worm your way into the team, which you probably intend to, let me tell you the ANBU is on its way as we speak, you far-sighted old bastard. How many people have you sent? Enko is probably closely guarded. I sent the best, and Yugawa is part of them. Sarutobi narrowed his eyes. As much as I hate to say it, you are too precious for Konoha to risk now. Especially since I need a counter to Gaara in town. Here they were. The real reason he was brought to the office. Suna is scheming behind our back? Yes. Sarutobi inhaled sharply and dropped the bomb. The Kazekage is planning to invade the Leaf during the third exam, in 3 weeks. Jiraiya's contacts informed me Gaara has been ordered to release the Ichibi on the populace during his match. Naruto fell silent, the implications dark and disturbing. How many forces do they have? Around 8,000 ninjas have been mobilized, according to our spies. Jiraiya informed me they were recruiting mercenaries who may be affiliated with Akatsuki, so by the end, we might face an army of around 12,000 men. Half of what we have and on our territory. But if the Ichibi is allowed to roam free, numbers will not win. But you're letting the Kazekage inside our walls? And Akatsuki is behind this? Are you insane? Naruto paused, upon realizing how stupid he had been to speak like this to his direct superior. Sorry, Naruto, what would you do if you were in my place? I would put the Kazekage under house arrest, he said after a short pondering. Our image on the international scenery might take a hit, but the invasion could be avoided. I would have Gaara killed immediately. A spy of mine convinced me Akatsuki infiltrated the command structure of Sunagakure. Itachi had been quite clear on the subject. The invasion will happen, with or without the Kazekage. If we capture him, the population will take it as the proof of our treachery, and the war will be declared by Orochimaru's proxies. At this point, all we can do is damage control. Naruto got it immediately. You intend to trap the attack force, slaughtering them and keeping your losses at bar minimum? Yes. And perhaps obtain the Shikaku, if things go smoothly. Sarutobi began to explain his plan. If the operation works, Suna will be crippled and without a Jinchuriki. An easy prey for IWA, who will start a war with its neighborhood. Both being associated with Akatsuki, they will bleed themselves out while we focus on the string pullers. You will exploit Orochimaru's own plan to your advantage. Naruto whispered, impressed by the guile, and slightly horrified. The IWA Suna war would be a bloody one, and thousands would die. Better them than us, I guess. But what do you intend to do exactly? I cannot tell you everything, only your role in my scheme. Sarutobi lit his pipe. What do you think of Gaara? He's a psychopath. Letting him roam free will result in incidents. He will not be removed before the invasion's day, or else Suna will suspect we have been warned and react unpredictably. However, as unstable as he is, Gaara is a lonely Jinchuriki. With luck, you and your friends may be able to convince him to switch sides. If he cannot be convinced to defect, you will have to remove him on the day of the third exam. Keep him alive, if possible, so we can extract the Ichibi. Otherwise, kill him. The old man frowned. Do you feel able to complete this S-rank mission? Anyone can be killed with the right preparations. Naruto narrowed his eyes. What else? Orochimaru's pride will probably cause him to seek me out during the invasion, the Sandaime admitted. And it is possible Sasori will try capturing you during the confusion. You will have to be on your guard. The teen nodded. What about the Mizukage? What side will Kiri take? Kiri's new administration had proved to be particularly interesting and helpful. You will see for yourself when the Mizukage arrives tomorrow. The old man grinned. Tell me, would you mind participating in important meetings? Naruto dropped his jaw in shock. You mean, with the Mizukage and Kazekage? It was kind of the Hokage to propose him this, since he could have ordered instead, alongside my meetings with my advisors. Sarutobi inhaled from his pipe. Let's be honest. Neither Han nor Fu trust me, and considering their troubles with authorities, I can understand them perfectly. You are my liaison with these two, and the intervention of 2 demon vessels might be pivotal in the invasion. As our Jinchuriki, you are one of the pillars maintaining Konoha as a war deterrent. I believe it is time for me to associate you more closely with our chain of command. Your presence in meetings with the Kazekage and Mizukage would remind them we have the Kyuubi, giving us the upper hand in debates. He's grooming me, Naruto suddenly realized. For a command position. I am honored by your proposal, Hokage-sama. I accept. This is it. Yugao glanced at the black construction, near the destroyed bridge. A dark bunker of metal and steel, hidden by trees and partly dug under the earth. Orochimaru's hideout. Fu Torian Aburaim told his partner, a member of the Yamanaka clan, how many chakra signatures? 10. Midarashi's 8 unknown, probably civilians, according to their low reserves, and Kabuto Yakushi's. Fu clenched his jaw upon dropping the traitor's name. No one else. It does not appear they expect us, but let's be careful, Kakashi ordered. Torian Fu behind. Yugao, you and I will be the vanguard. While Kat nodded, she noticed her mentor was slightly preoccupied, glancing at the remains of the bridge. Senpai? Yugao asked. Sorry, he shrugged, focusing. It brought back bad memories. This was the bridge Rin and Obito sacrificed their lives to destroy, the Canopy Bridge. I promise you, I won't let another comrade fall today. The night is upon us, Fu noted, as light faded away. We better hurry. The 4 ninjas moved in silence, entering through the base's windows. Yugao found herself briefly wondering what had pushed Danzo, the ANBU's leader, to add his own bodyguards to this mission. Could it be because he expected Akatsuki members to be nearby? The base's interior was deserted. There wasn't a soul inside, and in all evidence, it hadn't been occupied for quite a while. This is too silent, Yugao thought. What could they be doing there? They finally reached a large, brightly lit white hall. It seemed to be an hospital room, with 9 people laying on beds, their vital signs recorded by a computer, and the doctor operating it. Fu instantly pushed a kunai against the individual's throat. Raise your hands and do not try anything, he said. This does not have to be difficult. Kabuto Yakushi did as he was told. Ah, my fellow Root, have you come to pay me a visit? He asked, sounding friendly and confident. It is nice to see you again. Yugao ignored the traitor's words and focused on his patients. There were 6 men and 3 women, different in appearance, clothing, and age. Enko was among them, her eyes wide opened, empty, lifeless, and crimson in color. Enko, it's me, the ANBU began, trying to wake her up. They suffered body modifications, Torian whispered, upon glancing at the comatose patients. Interesting. My insects sense one of them had a few muscles replaced with metal. You drugged them? Kakashi asked Kabuto. Answer me. As Fu Yamanaka pushed the kunai closer to the throat, nearly drawing blood, Kabuto adopted a fake smile. Me? I did nothing. I was simply tasked to monitor them yesterday. What is it? An illusion? Yugao wondered out loud. A genjutsu? Limited Tsukuyomi. The group put itself on guards, as a deep, stoic voice resonated. Slowly, an individual wearing black robes and a spiraled mask walked through the room's wall. His demeanor was calm and serene, inhumanly so. An illusion that reads the heart's desire and traps the victim in a convincing simulation of it. A genjutsu so perfect, one has to sacrifice his dearest dream to escape it. To sum it up, this is a self-inflicted prison. A living fantasy where one wants to spend eternity within to escape the despair of real life. Who are you? Kakashi clenched his fists, ready to attack any time. I am so many things, Hataki, you wouldn't comprehend half of them. The masked man shrugged his shoulders. You can say I am a magician. I turn the impossible into the possible. Yugao recognized him. It was the man who evacuated Sasori and Orochimaru, she said, the sentence chilling the room's air. This person was the affiliated with Akatsuki's leadership, and was not to be underestimated. Why are you here? Torian asked. I can return you the question, Root. Why did Danzo send you? Is it for Mitarashi or the Samsara, perhaps? He wants to be strong and young once more. I am sorry to disappoint him. Although Yugao had no idea what they were talking about, the desire to free her friend was too strong to ignore. Release the hold you have over Anko. Why? In her dream, she achieved her deepest desires, defeating Orochimaru, being respected by everyone. It would be cruel of me to take her out of her ideal world. The Akatsuki member chuckled, his tone betraying his insanity. Perhaps would you like to have a perfect life too? Your lover can be reborn in your fantasy. It took everything she had not to cut him in half. Yugao touched her pommel threateningly, managing to rein in her anger. Why are you here? Torian asked one more time. I expected the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki to locate her eventually, the masked man shrugged. After all, she was his sensei, and he is surprisingly stubborn. I thought he would get out of the woods to find her. I guess Sarutobi was too smart to give him freedom. The man locked eyes with Kakashi. Hataki, your purpose has ended, and it is time to enjoy your reward. The masked man extended his arms. Your paradise awaits you. A world where Obito Uchiha, Rin Naora, and Minato Namikaze are alive, an illusion where you can pretend you never failed. Your dream will come true inside the limited Tsukuyumi. To all of you, the gate to a perfect world is open. You simply have to surrender your will to me. No, Kakashi replied, betraying a hint of surprise at the man's knowledge of his life. You're coming with us. Farewell, if you refuse my black mercy. The hole in the mask revealed a crimson Sharingan. You shall drown in true despair. Anko's knife moved to slice Yugao's throat. Chapter 9. Through the eyes of madness. Even before his favorite bowl of ramen, he couldn't enjoy the moment. Is something bothering you? Ayam asked, approaching him. Your heart doesn't seem in it. I'm thinking about a friend, Naruto admitted. Her life is in danger, and I can't stop worrying. Is it about what happened during the exams? Ayam asked, causing the teen to frown. I heard Jounin discussing you were wounded fighting dangerous ninjas near Konoha's borders. It's linked to that, yes. He was surprised there were rumors on the Forest of Death's events, and that they reached even Ayam. You don't seem happy either, he said, trying to change the subject. The young woman inhaled sharply. It pales before your problems. Go on. If I can help, I will. Ayam smiled slightly at this. Dad and I have been thinking about expanding the restaurant, she admitted. Adding sushi to the menu, recruiting more workers, building a bigger restaurant, but we do not yet have the necessary funds. A ramen stand is fun, but it doesn't make you rich. Oh, I can help you with it, Naruto said. Are you free tomorrow morning? It's my day off. Ayam raised an eyebrow. What do you intend, Naruto? Lee's voice cut the discussion short, as both the spandex genin and Niji Hyuga sat next to the blonde. He suddenly realized how impolite he had been, and bowed slightly. I apologize if I interrupted your courtship. Both Naruto and Ayam blushed slightly, before rolling their eyes in perfect synchronization. Niji was vaguely annoyed by the reaction. Lee wanted to spar one more time against you, the Hyuga coughed, after politely bowing to the waitress. Naruto groaned briefly, before finding a nice contest idea. A yo mama duel. Everyone glanced at him strangely. Psychological warfare is very important in battle. The contest will teach you to resist such attacks. And yes, it will reinforce our spirit. Lee grinned and started. Your mom is so fat she can't see her feet. That's all you've got? You mom is so ugly I mistake her for your dad all the time. You mom died because she saw your face at birth and had a heart attack. Your mom is so poor she can't pay attention to you, Naruto replied, slightly impressed by Lee's ruthlessness. That's fun because it's true. Your mom is such a vixen you got whiskers. Alright, you forced me to use it. Naruto adopting a threatening fighting stance. The yo mamageddon, Lee blinked. The what? A joke so absurd it makes you want to eat your tongue, Naruto explained. I refined it 3 years. An insult so powerful no one can survive it. I distilled the very essence of hopelessness and suffering in a single sentence. Bring it, Naruto, Niji replied blankly. Your mom is. Due to the possible presence of kids in the audience, the narrator will skip straight to the reactions of the people present. Niji's expression crumbled into unadulterated shock. Lee started crying. I am reddened like a tomato. Tucci, working in the restaurant's kitchen, wanted to eat his tongue, but couldn't find the strength to. The ramen bowl somehow moved away from the blonde. Naruto-san, that was disgusting. Lee complained, washing away his tears. I don't care, I won, Naruto boasted. You can't possibly top that. Naruto, I didn't know you had such a dirty mind. I am trailed off. Her face colored crimson. After paying his bill and saying goodbye to the Ichiraku's owners, Naruto left with Niji and Lee, hanging out in the night. Tell me, he asked them, what kind of flowers does Tenten like the most? Lee scratched the back of his head, slightly surprised by his friend's question. Did he finally catch on? Why? Well, she did something pretty nice to me and I wanted to return the favor. I think from you, she would like roses better, Niji pointed out, inwardly hoping his friend would get the hint. Unfortunately, he didn't. Really? Naruto asked, slightly confused. I didn't think she was the kind of girl to like them. Niji glared at the Jinchuriki silently. Moron, he told him bluntly. How can someone like you be both so tricky and yet so damn oblivious? What? He frowned at Lee and Niji. What's wrong? The two genin exchanged glances. Which of us is going to tell him? Lee wondered. I'm not, Niji deadpanned. It's not our problem. Naruto prepared to retort something, when they were interrupted by a strange duo. Say it, Han told Sasuke, as they walked through the street. No. The Uchiha had traded his usual black shirt for a white one with the sentence I love dolphins written on it. He obviously wasn't happy with it. I refuse. Do you want to learn the water dolphin missile jutsu that kills everything that bleeds or not? The giant asked him. Obey the Han or suffer the consequences. Sasuke inhaled sharply. I love dolphins, he said, every word sounding painful and ridiculous. That's the spirit. Everything is better with dolphins. The former IWA Nin grabbed Sasuke's shirt and dragged him away. Now, the Han will give you the power of a radioactive shiny dolphin. Naruto's group stayed silent an instant. What just happened? The Hyuga prodigy asked. No idea, the blonde sighed, rolling. Now, what's the problem with Tenten? Once he glanced at the spot his friends used to occupy, he realized Lee and Niji had vanished. Bastards. Shrugging, Naruto went on a silent, lonely walk, observing the sky. He finally spotted Fu's transformed body flying nearby. It landed on the training ground they usually used to spar, causing the blonde to go there. Once he arrived, the Jinchuriki had adopted her human appearance once more. Hi, she said, once he caught up to her. How was your meeting with the Sandaime? Pretty nice. How was your flight? Nice. Nana says it would be good if you were to ride me next time, it enjoys your physical contact. She suddenly realized the accidental innuendo, and ground her teeth. Not even remotely what you think it means, I never said it. Trust me, I'm the victim of this kind of misunderstanding from time to time. Naruto crossed his arms. About Taki, I don't want to talk about it, Fu cut in suddenly, never did I. He put his hand on her shoulder, making her squirm in surprise. Look, whatever happened there, I wanted to say, here at least, you are welcome. I don't know what the Takinins did to you, but I promise you I will do my best to be a good friend to you. The girl was slightly surprised by the admission, but beamed with happiness next. Thanks, she said, briefly hugging him. You're going to return home? Later. I've got to. He suddenly clenched his fists. Fu, prepare yourself. The girl immediately broke the embrace and adopted a fighting stance. A few meters away from them, under a tree, a young boy with red hair and cold eyes was standing, motionless. Tell me, Gaara of the desert spoke, without any hint of emotion. What is your name? As the Yambi was fully extracted, as life was reaped from its Jinchuriki's body, a god contemplated his work. Death and life did not matter to Pain. He who could raise the dead as an extension of his will, and could ruin thousands of lives in a matter of seconds, was not troubled with such trivial considerations. Rashi had been nothing more than an ant crushed under a boot. A statistic. A small sacrifice fueling a greater design, yet, sometimes, the deity remembered what it was to be human. To have such a fragile existence, to love, to smile when you achieved a goal, to laugh at a joke, to cry when your friends died. Pain had left that behind him long ago. No, there was only his dream, and obstacles in the way. 5, he mused to himself. 5 remain out of my grasp. And 4 wait in the leaf. Could it be a coincidence? Or do the 9 aspire to be one once more? Madara had insisted he should leave his lair for once and attack the leaf in person. The leader of Amigakure had refused, preferring to focus on unlocking the secrets of the Sage of the Six Paths, the secrets of Chakra itself. The ancient Uchiha had cursed and stormed off. Whether or not the masked individual was indeed Madara Uchiha or a fake did not matter to Nagato. Legendary or otherwise, he was a mere man, and Pain was a god, yet Pain knew he wasn't omnipotent. Quite the contrary, in fact. He would die one day, be it in a week, a month, a year, or a decade. He would not leave long enough to enjoy his utopia, but at least he would lay its foundations. He would die in peace then, and only then. Nagato closed his eyes and dreamed of paradise. You, Gaara whispered softly, what's your name? Naruto Uzumaki. The blonde narrowed his eyes. How the psychopath had managed to sneak up on them and why, he had no idea, but considering his personality, a fight might break out. The NBU watching me can have missed it, he thought, noticing at least one masked man observing the scene from afar. I'm full, the girl spoke, interlacing her fingers, prepared to strike. You're Gaara of Suna, correct? Of course, she was perfectly aware who he was, but preferred to play fool and better surprise him. Yes. The madman stayed silent an instant. Jinchuriki. You are the incarnations of demons too. Demon vessels, Naruto corrected, understanding playing dumb was futile. How did you guess? Is it the Shikaku who told you? Yes, he replied, unsurprised by their knowledge. I wanted to see your eyes. Happy with what you see? Fu deadpanned. Gaara made no sign he acknowledged her presence. In fact, all his attention was focused on Naruto, both teens having entered a silent staring contest. Naruto Uzumaki, what do you live for? Gaara's voice betrayed no hint of emotion. To be the strongest, Naruto replied, inwardly slightly disturbed. He had the feeling the madman would sense any lie and answer with deadly force. To be at the top of the food chain, so you're a predator too. Gaara glanced briefly at Fu. And you? To become the strongest kunoichi the world has ever seen, the Takinin said confidently. Good. Gaara shrugged. Then you will understand why I have to kill you both. A surge of pain flared in Naruto's neck, and he started releasing killing intent. I would like to see that, Naruto threatened coolly. This is the way things are. I must be the strongest. Anyone who challenges this goal is a threat to my life. Gaara snorted, sand swirling around him. Not yet. I will seek you out later. You will validate my existence. As the psychopath vanished from their sight in a tornado of sand, Naruto glanced at his shoulder. The cursed seal was sensing its host's murderous intents, but his will and Jiraiya's seal kept it in check. Psycho, he whispered. Naruto, be wary, Fu warned. Nana and I can defend ourselves, but, hey, I can defend myself too. Whatever hopes he had of convincing Gaara to join them had been thrown out of the window. The boy was too unstable to be left alone. I will have him killed for threatening us. It wasn't a possibility. It was a fact, Fu snorted. I doubt he will leave us a choice in the matter. The worst part, Naruto mused darkly, is that I could have ended up like him. Fu went on to return home, offering to carry Naruto there by flying. The blonde politely refused, having another matter to attend to first. Returning to the town, Naruto decided to seek out Jiraiya. The man was most likely near the hot springs, observing naked girls from a vantage point. As it turned out, it was exactly what the pervert was doing. Ah, I like night baths, Jiraiya chuckled, as Naruto climbed onto the roof. The man was watching his unsuspecting victims through a telescope covered with seals. When the genin pointed a finger at them, the Sannin grinned. They allow me to see perfectly in the dark. Somehow I get the feeling he became a legendary ninja just to peep better. I see. That's your answer? Jiraiya glanced at him strangely. Don't you even want to take a look through it? No. Why? Because I learned what happened to you once you attempted that on Tsunade, and I'm in no rush to be hospitalized again. Jiraiya shuddered, his facial expression utterly priceless in Naruto's humble opinion. That was one single instance where it went horribly wrong. The super pervert instinctively glanced around him, as if the mere mention of the event would induce bad luck. Seriously, how can't you seize the opportunity to peep on the hottest naked women in Konoha? Then again, I'm sure you're a girl magnet. You mistake me for Sasuke, Naruto snorted, sitting next to the Sannin. The guy has got more fangirls than friends. My fan club consists of only one girl. Jiraiya glanced at him. You're blonde, you've got blue eyes, you've got a pretty face, and your whiskers give you an exotic appeal. If you focused on flaunting your mysterious past and developed a brooding loner attitude, fangirls would flock to you like no other. Seriously, convert to emoism and they will worship the ground you walk on. Go shirtless from time to time and they will kill for an autograph. Sorry, I'm the friendly neighborhood type, Naruto snorted. Anyway, I didn't come for your advice, as useful as they could be. I wonder if he could give Sasuke pointers how to get rid of fangirls. I expected you to be more difficult to approach. What? The fact I'm an excellent ninja does not mean I have to be haughty or a loner. Some of us grow well-adjusted. Naruto decided perversion was not the definition he would give to well-adjusted, yet kept his mouth shut. I've got a few questions to ask you. About summoning. If this is whether or not you can let a giant snake materialize right in front of me, you can dream. Jiraiya snorted loudly. Why didn't you take the toads instead? Snakes are ugly jerks. No offense to your previous teacher. Nah, I understand. Naruto shrugged his shoulders. To be honest, their values and mine aren't that far apart. I think we will have good chemistry, if I could feel the summoning jutsu, that is. You've got a giant chakra battery in your belly. Jiraiya pointed a finger at the genin's stomach. I specifically designed it so the Jinchuriki could access to maximal influx of chakra in case of need. Naruto frowned. You designed the seal? Helped design it, with your mother and the Yondaime Hokage, before the Kyuubi killed them both. We were prepared to transfer the Kyuubi anytime should Kushina be grievously wounded or on the verge of death. That Naruto didn't see it coming. I learned you taught the Yondaime, but not that I was friend with your mom. Jiraiya dropped his telescope and locked eyes with the blonde boy. She was perhaps one of the only women with whom I could maintain a friendship. She taught me a great deal about Fuinjutsu. Naruto narrowed his head. What was she like? Physically very pretty, with shining red hair, good nipples and one of the most wonderful ass. No, I mean personality-wise. Naruto barely managed to refrain himself from hitting the pervert. Jiraiya shuddered. Hot-tempered, wild, violent, with a sweet core. She was the kind of girl who would beat you up for a vague reason, and then treat your wounds afterward. You inherited her love for chatting and pulling pranks. She was extremely determined, brave, but she had enough smarts not to rush in desperate situations. She was a good friend. And my dad? Naruto asked, hopeful. Did you meet him? Jiraiya's expression darkened. Yes, but you aren't going to tell me who he is, Naruto guessed, disappointed. The Sandaime expressly forbade me from doing so. And for good reasons. Jiraiya inhaled sharply. Look, brat, your father was a good man. A great man. But he did something you may not appreciate. I promise you the Sandaime, or I will tell you who he was, but not until you reach 18. I've had enough of being kept in the dark, Naruto cursed. I have a right to be informed, damn it. I'm mature enough to take whatever truth that can be thrown at me. Sometimes people do the wrong thing for the right reason. Jiraiya decided to switch the subject. You wanted to ask me about summoning? Naruto did not bother to hide his annoyance. He wanted to push the issue further, but the Sannin's eyes silently told him to drop it for the time. I want to feel the summoning jutsu without relying on either the Kyuubi or worse, the cursed seal, he explained. I wondered if you had pointers or a solution. Jiraiya scratched the back of his head. Summoning an animal works by using your blood as an anchor, and chakra to fuel the space-time alteration bringing the creature to you, he explained. Before the sage of the six paths taught people how to use chakra, summoning rituals were fueled by violent ritual sacrifices. Blood is life turned liquid, so it makes a good substitute. So you imply I need to bleed a lot to summon creatures? Impractical. You would faint trying to summon a viper. Jiraiya grinned. However, there is an alternative power source, natural energy. The blonde was genuinely in the dark, causing the Sannin to mimic touching his neck. Naruto understood. The cursed seal? Natural energy is a special form of chakra produced by the terrain and atmosphere. You can say it is the collective chakra of the biosphere. Jiraiya crossed his arms. The enzymes contained in the cursed seal serve as an anchor to this energy. I heard of an extinct clan whose bloodline allowed a similar feat, so I suspect Orochimaru to have attempted reproducing the ability. I studied Anko's cursed seal for years trying to understand its secrets. So you mean this allows anyone marked with it can gather this natural chakra passively? It's more complicated, Jiraiya shook his head. The cursed seal indeed stores natural chakra passively, giving an additional reserve to its user. You can say it turns someone into a pseudo-Jinchuriki. However, the human body isn't made to handle this kind of chakra. It causes severe mutations that can be fatal, or force the body to adapt to form better fit to handle it. A frog or a bird, for example. Naruto briefly shuddered. Since I haven't gained wings, I guess the cursed seal has a filter? Orochimaru puts a tiny amount of his own chakra into each cursed seal, which mixes with natural energy once the victim starts tapping into the additional reserve, Jiraiya explained. On one hand, Orochimaru's chakra prevents the user's body from suffering crippling mutations, but on the other hand, it starts mixing with the host's own chakra, which is extremely unhealthy and allows the man to mess with your brain. Why not simply removing it then? Or replace it with another source of chakra? Because I've yet to find a way to do so without killing the bearer, Jiraiya responded bluntly. What I want you to understand is that the cursed seal serves as an passive anchor and storage to natural energy, and my protections do not affect this. The natural chakra automatically surrounds you, although since it does not mix with the bearer's chakra, which you do not even have in the first place without going through the filter first, it does not affect you or your surroundings in any way. But with the right summoning tattoos, it would be possible to redirect the passive natural energy attracted by the cursed seal, turning it into an external power source for the summoning. Naruto understood. Absolutely not, Jiraiya replied, causing the blonde to palm his face. Natural chakra fueling a jutsu minus personal chakra as filter would probably make you grow a tail, or worse. You're such a biological anomaly, I'm not even sure you wouldn't turn a Batman or Spider-Man. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Biological anomaly? Sure, I've got an illness. Boy, you are a living insult to nature. The sage inhaled sharply. Think outside the box. Chakra is needed to live. It's as important as the heart for someone to live. Chakra depletion kills. You survived for years without any chakra. Get it? Naruto actually never considered it under that angle. You imply. I imply nothing, I can only guess. Jiraiya clenched his jaw. Either you have a rare genetic disorder, which the QB only made worse, or once upon a time, humans did not have any chakra and could live without it, which the Nine Tails was aware of all along. You are potentially showing our modern theory about chakra is wrong, or at least, incomplete. The implications caused Naruto to blanch. But how? Even civilians have a spark of chakra and can die if it is removed, because after a time, their body grow with this spark of chakra to the point their very life is linked to it. But if we were to remove it from an infant, or surgically destroy his chakra pathways and tenketsu as the Nine Tails did while he was very, very young, he could, perhaps, grow up without any chakra at all. Nobody has tested it yet, and the moral implications of experimenting on babies stay my hand, unlike a former teammate of mine. The other option is that you have a genetic mutation which the QB's actions cause to manifest. Jiraiya locked eyes with Naruto. Brat, only the fox has the answers to these questions. He will never give me the answers. Naruto glanced away. Look, could we stop talking about my condition? Let's return on the summoning. If I can't summon, then what are your tattoos going to do? They would allow you to keep a summon with you anytime. Naruto raised an eyebrow, and the old man explained. Summons, after a time, automatically return to their home because they strive on natural energy, which their homes are loaded with. That's why they're bigger and smarter than normal animals. The elemental nations do not have enough natural energy to support them for long. Have you never wondered why loyal summons simply don't make their nest in Konoha? Jiraiya inhaled sharply. If I modify the curse seal, I could turn it into a senjutsu battery a summon could feed on. An anchor that would allow it to remain in the elemental nations as long as it stays with you. I could have animal familiars, Naruto trailed off, who could help me anytime. In a nutshell. It is a lot more complicated, but I think I can manage. But it takes time and efforts and I'm a busy man, Jiraiya lied through his teeth. Are you blackmailing me? Naruto pondered whether or not he should threaten the pervert ninja of informing every kunoichi he could of Jiraiya's observation points, before deciding menacing Orochimaru's equal was a bad idea. What do you want? Money? Dirty photos? I'm filthy rich, and although the second proposal is interesting, I've got a better idea. Jiraiya grinned lecherously. Since you spoke of my one bad day, I guess you have a decent grasp of Tsunade Senju's story, right? She left the Hidden Leaf after the end of the Third Shinobi War, and Guy mentioned she snapped after losing close relatives. Naruto raised an eyebrow. She's coming back to deal with the invasion. Sarutobi-sensei wants to enlist her, the pervert seal master confirmed. I'm pretty certain she's going to refuse and leave as soon as she can. However, I may have a solution to force her to cooperate. Jiraiya gave a light tap to Naruto's back. I heard you frequented casinos. Anko. Yugao struggled, her tanto parrying her friend's kunai. Anko stopped this. The kunoichi did not listen and attempted to punch the Anbu. Yugao took a step back to dodge, deflecting another incoming slash next. The other prisoners attacked, two of them attempting to flank Cat. Bloody blades emerged from their forearms, ripping apart their own flesh. She does not see you, she heard the masked man laugh mockingly. All she sees is what I want her to see. As she struggled to stop the surprised assault, Yugao allowed herself a brief moment to observe her allies. Toryun had already executed one of his attackers with a mere slap, microscopic insects assaulting the cells and brain. The technique was rare and feared, and Yugao was thankful not to be on the receiving end of it. Meanwhile, Kakashi was casually deflecting the blows of two other patients. Their teeth had been sharpened into fangs, dripping venom. It only took him a few hand seals to burn them into ashes with fire. Unfortunately, Fu Yamanaka wasn't doing as well. Kabuto had seized the opportunity to free himself and counterattack. Scalpels of chakra formed around the medic's hands as he attempted to slice Danzo's solitaire in half, his speed betraying incredible experience and skills. Yugao was certain the man had been an A&B once, before betraying the leaf. "You're very stupid if you think Tobiman is going to let you win," the masked man chuckled lightly, appearing behind Fu Yamanaka by surprise. He grabbed the poor shinobi's head and in one motion, twisted the neck. As the corpse fell limp on the ground, the mysterious Akatsuki member touched Kabuto with his index. The scientist vanished, his body absorbed by the Sharingan. "Surrender, and Tobiman will let you keep two organs of your choice." Kakashi attempted to kill him with a Chidori, but both the attack and its user traversed the Uchiha as if he was made of air. "Who are you?" the Kopinin roared, attempting to cut the individual in half with a wind technique. "An Uchiha, it should be obvious," the masked man deadpanned, unfazed by the blade of air. Another possessed prisoner attempted to tackle Kakashi, breathing fire from his mouth and nose. "Itachi Uchiha? Madara Uchiha? Why not Mikoto Uchiha? Take your pick, and let me delight in your confusion." Putting her tanto back in its scabbard, Yugao attempted an Aido move. The strike cut in half her attackers, but she intentionally stopped her motion before she could reach Enko, opting to fight defensively. "Enko, I know you are somewhere in this thick skull of yours," she snarled, dodging a roundhouse kick from Orochimaru's former apprentice, "so wake up." "This is useless," the masked Uchiha mocked her efforts, his tone deepening into a frighteningly monotone voice. "These soldiers are the new face of the shinobi world. Soulless automatons, robbed of free will. They cannot disobey. They cannot question the commands of their masters. They feel neither pain nor doubt. They fear nothing, not even death. They are weapons. And when I am done with you guys, you will join their ranks." "Enko." Yugao frowned. "You can't be that weak. You can't be a slave." Enko Midarashi's assault briefly stopped, causing the ANBU's eyes to widen in hope. "Enko, you are strong," she said, parrying the snake lady's kunai once more. "You survived Orochimaru's betrayal. You survived a lot of things. You can't let an illusion defeat you." The previously emotionless Kunoichi's face began to twitch slightly. Clearly, she was subconsciously struggling. "You are Enko Midarashi, a shinobi of Kanehigakure," Yugao continued. "You have friends in the real world. People who are counting on you." The woman dropped her kunai and grabbed her temples, as if fighting an headache. "Don't you remember Naruto? Kurenai?" Yugao gave the final push. "Can you let this man steal them from you?" "No!" Enko shouted, her eyes returning to their normal color. I am no one's slave. I am." She glared at the masked man, her face twisted into anger. "You asshole. Oh, I am genuinely impressed you managed to break through the limited Tsukuyomi." The mysterious Uchiha clapped his hands, oozing with arrogance and malevolence. "I guess I will have to do a little more field testing. The human mind can be such a hard thing to break. Do you have any idea what you did to me?" Enko snarled, instantly summoning venomous snakes to bite the man. You violated my mind." "I failed to see why it should bother me." He casually killed the animals with a volley of shuriken, finding himself surrounded by the Konohanins, his thralls having been killed down to the last man. Free will is nothing but a cancer. Love, friendships, bonds, hope. These are words we tell ourselves again and again, until we forget they are lies. They drive us to pain and despair. Wouldn't it be better if they were removed? This way, you can see the plain truth. Which is? Enko snarled, finishing a hand seal sequences. That whoever has the power decides who wins and who loses. And I decided you would lose. As he vanished, a dozen explosive tags manifested in the space he used to occupy. Die. Most of the group reacted in time to leap backward, saving themselves from the explosion, but not Enko. She was too close to the source of the blast to escape it. With a sickening noise, Orochimaru's former student was thrown against the wall, flames spreading over her body. 2 seconds later, the masked man materialized once more, slamming his palms to the ground. A blue inferno spread from them, consuming the walls and causing the ceiling to fall apart. Yugao deflected a chunk of rock that nearly crushed Enko with a powerful kick, allowing Torian to reach her and extinguish the flames with a water jutsu. "We need to find Kakashi-senpai and swarm the Uchiha," Kat commanded. "No. Torian put the injured ankle on his shoulder. The mission was to rescue her. We leave. Fuck the mission. Senpai is still the Aburaim didn't let her finish and escape through the inferno. Stop! A volley of fireballs were projected toward her, forcing the ANBU to dodge them one by one. The masked man teleported multiple times in quick succession, firing a new blast of fire from his open right palm every time. A wall of earth formed between them and Yugao, shielding her. Kohai, Kakashi's voice reached her ears, as he stepped at her side. Get the hell out of there. And abandon you? She tightened her hold over her Tonto's pommel. Are you mad? Your fighting style is useless against his intangibility, Kakashi replied, revealing his Sharingan. Only my eye can match his own. You might get caught in the crossfire. Yugao ground her teeth. You told me those who break the rules are trash, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash. By dying there, you are abandoning Anko and the comrades that wait for you at home. Kakashi locked eyes with her, as the wall of earth shook. Leave now, or I will be forced to kick you out. I will beat him. Yugao knew it was a lie, but right now, she truly wanted to believe it. Promise it. I promise I will defeat him, Kakashi lied with fake cheerfulness. I won't allow my comrades to die. I will protect you with my life. Now go. Yugao reluctantly obeyed, praying whatever god who would answer to protect her mentor. Oh, and one last thing, she turned to glance at her teacher's back. Take care of little Naruto and Sasuke for me, will ya? I promise, she said, leaving him. Once alone, Kakashi took a step back, his earth wall shattered by a powerful fireball. Out of the growing flames, ignoring the crumbling ceiling as if walking through a garden, the masked Uchiha emerged, pushing your friends away, so you can try some heroic last stand. How silly. You have a serious martyr complex. The masked Uchiha snorted, his Sharingan's Tomo being replaced with a new design. You are but a deluded fool, Kakashi. You could have been a great shinobi, and in the end, you became a great failure. You failed your father, you failed your teammates. You failed your teacher. You failed your students. You failed your sensei's son. And now you're about to fail your Kohai too, this eye. Kakashi trailed off, horrified, as he recognized the eye pattern. The one his own Sharingan sometimes adopted in times of extreme stress. Where did you get it? Isn't it obvious? The masked man shrugged his shoulders, then he teleported right in front of Kakashi, ready to hit. The copy mean barely managed to catch the masked man's sucker punch with his open palm. You said you won't allow your comrades to die. Yet, this is precisely what you did in the past. No. Kakashi clenched his remaining fist, realizing the truth. It can't be, you robbed his grave. He pushed the man back, attempting to kill him with a lightning bolt. It was stupid of you and Namikaze not to get the body back, the masked man mocked him, the attack phasing through him. Seriously, leaving little Obito under rocks and never bothering to unearth him and his Sharingan? How stupid can the leaf possibly get, bastard? Kakashi roared, unleashing a powerful gale of wind at the monster. The man shrugged it off easily, teleported right in front of his opponent, and punched his chest with enough strength to shatter a rib or two. The copy-nin was tossed to the ground, a kick between the legs preventing from retaliating. How can you do this? I told you I was a magician. The masked man made a mock reverence, as his foot stomped on Kakashi's face, breaking the nose. However, the preparations for my greatest show aren't finished yet. A part of me wants to let you live to see it, and another really wants to kill you. So hard to choose. The mysterious Uchiha appeared to reach a decision. Be happy, Tobiman is going to let you live this time. See you soon, doggy. Get back! Kakashi snarled, as the individual dematerialized into nothingness. The ANBU captain cursed, doing his best to get up and dodge falling debris. Outside, Yugao glared at Torian, who deposed the unconscious Anko to the ground. Kakashi-senpai can't win alone, she stated angrily. He will manage, the Aburaim replied. The mission is to bring Mitarashi back alive to Konoha. That's all that matters. No! What matters is not leaving your comrades behind like some trash. Yugao complained. We must go back. Mitarashi will die. The sentence, said with a chilling, flat tone, caused Yugao to pause and confirm his words. Unfortunately, this was in evidence. Now Cat could see the damage the explosion caused. The explosive tags had blown up a good chunk of Anko's torso, from the breast to the stomach. The flesh had been consumed by the heat and flames, revealing the heart. She will have an hemorrhage soon, if the burns and concussion don't kill her first in the next minutes, Torian said without any hint of emotion. Fu might have been able to keep her alive. But unfortunately, my knowledge of medical jutsu is limited. Do something about it, Yugao commanded, despairing over what was happening. This is a nightmare. I need to wake up. Anko, stay alive please, the medics. Cat. Anko glanced at her friend, blood flowing from her mouth. Last words are for those who haven't said enough, so please, listen. Yugao approached her face to Anko's mouth, listening to her weak plea. Kill the snake bastard. She smiled briefly, adding another demand to her last request. Watch, the brat. I will, Yugao promised, seizing her friend's hand. Anko. I'm so sorry, I should have. At this point, the words were for naught. Anko kept staring at her, her eyes devoid of life. Yugao would have cried, if she still could. Torian, for all his blunt stoicism, did not try to tell her to move. They just stayed there in silence, as if time had stopped. Cat. Kakashi put an hand over her shoulder. Let's go home.